So what we have to understand is we have to first understand what caused the rise of the West. Today, the West, it is about 12% of the world's population, but it controls more than 80% of the world's economy. I mean, roughly, I'm saying maybe 70% or so, but it controls the entire economic system, the global institutions, the IMF, the World Bank, the reserve currency is the dollar. So they control everything. It's just 12% of the population, but they control the entire economy and the entire global system. So what caused the rise of the West? The West became wealthy and powerful through aggression, through imperialism, through genocide, through mass murder, and through pillage. That's what caused the West to become so wealthy and powerful. Today, the West is not in a position to extract more wealth from India or from China. They are still trying to do that from Africa, but it may not last for long. So the sources of their growth have dried out. The only way they have grown is through stealing other people's money and wealth and treasure for centuries, through slave markets, through wholesale slaughter, wholesale siphoning of the economy of India, etc. So that's how they grew. Today, that's not happening. So the West is now in decline. And when a big power is in decline, it becomes more aggressive and it becomes more desperate. So that's why I expect that we may see more wars in the coming couple of decades. As the West declines, it will try to lash out and try to retain whatever power it can. If not through diplomacy, if not through the economic means, then through military means. So that is something we may see. Now, it is clear that India is rising. China is also rising. China's growth is now not as rapid as it used to be. It's not growing at 10, 12, 13% per year. It's now growing at around 5% or 6% per year. That's what their official figures are. Maybe it's lower than that. India, on the other hand, is now most likely going to grow at 7, 8% per year. If we do it right, maybe even 10% per year, if we get it right. So India is going to rise for some time, maybe the next couple of decades. China, it's going to grow, but not so fast. The West is going to decline. So that is the potential for trouble, because the West is going to lash out and try to retain whatever it can through military means. The United States is the major hegemonic power today. It is still the only superpower in the world. China is not yet a superpower. The US is the sole global superpower. So then you have this situation of a Thucydides trap. When the East is rising, the West is declining. The US doesn't want to give up its hegemony. So you may have some kind of violent reaction, and they may try to impede your progress. They have this doctrine. They don't want any power to even become in the future a potential competitor. So if they see a country that may be a small economy today, but it has the potential in the next 20 years of becoming a big power, then they will try to sabotage their growth right now. So that is what we may witness, we meaning India, we may witness from the US. They may try to step up the Breaking India activities. They may try to fund various organizations or political parties within India through various NGOs. They may try to interfere with the internal domestic affairs of India. They may try to instigate a color revolution like they did in Ukraine, like they did in the Arab Spring, etc. So these activities may rise now. Right now, what we are seeing yesterday, I believe that Lady Victoria Nuland, the Deputy Secretary of State of the US, she came to India. She is famous for instigating the Euromaidan revolution, which was a coup d'etat that was successfully carried out in Ukraine, which precipitated the entire 2022 Russia-Ukraine war in the long run. So she is a color revolution, regime change expert, and she came to India yesterday, and she met with various what she calls thought leaders. Who is she to decide who are our thought leaders? We'll decide, right? Who is she to decide? Anyway, so you are seeing this kind of interference from the US in India. This may, in the coming years, be on the rise. They may try to see, they would like India not to rise very fast or very much. And they would not want to see a strong, stable, nationalistic government in power at the center. They would prefer to see a weak, pliable government at the center, so they can keep India at a middle income. At the position of a small power, not a major power, and use it to counterbalance China to some extent. And when there is no more use for India, you can disintegrate India. So that would be the end game or the long-term vision that the Americans have for India. So we have to be careful about that. We have to make sure that they are not allowed to interfere too much in the name of democracy and all that, freedom of speech and all that in India's internal affairs. So that is something the government will have to take care of. But that is the kind of approach you may see vis-a-vis India, and vis-a-vis China. You may actually see a hot war if the Chinese make a move prematurely for Taiwan, for instance. Then you could see a war happening between the US and China, because the Americans simply cannot afford to lose Taiwan. If they lose Taiwan, they will instantaneously lose whatever superpower status they have. People will stop trusting the word of the US, that their guarantee as the world's policeman and the world's arbiter of power no longer holds. So then people will make the realignment and try to align with China, because China seems to be on the ascendancy. So the Americans simply cannot afford to lose Taiwan. So right now the things are in flux. The entire global system is realigning itself. We are witnessing a rapid bipolarization of the world, and things, we need to still see where it goes. But that's how I see the world going.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.